But casting Zach on this show, where the men are supposed to be finding women, has been annoying. And agree or not, that has been his edit. Outside of being hot and cold with Kata for one whole episode, his edit for 4 episodes straight has not been very straight, quite frankly. What's up, everybody? Back to talk about last night's episode of Love Island USA, a Thursday episode where I feel like the editing has to get better, because I thought this episode sucked ass, to be honest. I feel like it was so Melanie and Sincere heavy, and yeah, I get it, they have the most volatile thing going, but if one of the next few episodes are them sucking up the airtime again, I'm gonna be burnt out on them. I kind of already am after this episode, because if they're getting 75 to 80% of the airtime, I'm left being confused by the rest of these couples. Because the B storyline in this episode was stupid as fuck to me. The ambiguously gay duo of Zach and Bryce acting a fool. And I'm still doing my 2-week wait period of assessing who I like or not, and I only have like less than a week to go with that. And Bryce has been in my top half for quite a few episodes now, but a quick way to fall from grace to the bottom of my rankings, and anyone that watches my Big Brother recaps or watches me talk about characters on a written show, is a person being an idiot. A person being a stupid idiot grinds my gears, and Bryce was being dumb as fuck and very nonsensical in this episode. So I think I might as well start with them. So Trinity told Bryce at the beginning of this episode that she likes him a lot and doesn't know how he feels, and that she wants more intimacy. So I thought right off the bat, Trinity is telling Bryce that she likes him a lot. But I mean, I guess Bryce did not totally take that at face value. I will say this before I totally go in on Bryce. I will say that Trinity was comparing what they have again to others in the villa. This is not the first time she's done this, and that would get on my nerves too. I'm assuming she does that because she is young, maybe has some sort of FOMO about what some of the other couples might have. And Bryce was saying he thought they had become more affectionate, but she still wants him to be more affectionate, and she did say that she appreciates him. But somehow this sent Bryce into a spiral, and I don't know if it's the shitty, choppy editing or what, but I don't really know how we got from point A to point D other than Bryce was being dumb. We did see all of these talks that Bryce had with his bromance, which for Zach goes beyond bromance. It's bad enough that Zach has been bad nepotism casting and that he's brought nothing to the show. In fact, I would say Sean has still brought more to the show in the 5 episodes that he was on than anything we've seen from Zach yet. But also, if they wanted to cast a gay man, they should just make a gay version of Love Island, because I think it would be great TV. I think it would be Drag Race on steroids. But casting Zach on this show, where the men are supposed to be finding women, has been annoying. And agree or not, that has been his edit. Outside of being hot and cold with Kata for one whole episode, his edit for 4 episodes straight has not been very straight, quite frankly. But anyway, Zach wanting Bryce as more than just friends aside, Zach was very weird about Trinity in this episode to me. Zach seemed to try to get Bryce off of Trinity, but the comment that he, Kata, and Bryce together have better vibes was one very strange diss on Trinity to me. Any person out there who has been trying to say that Zach is pining after Trinity, please wake up, because I don't think he likes her at all. Not after this comment. So Zach and his gay shaved legs were all over Bryce in this episode, trying to sabotage Bryce and Trinity. However, Zach can't be blamed because Bryce is old. The guy will be turning 30 while the show is still on if he makes it far enough. So Bryce spiraling this much all of a sudden that he has the terrible idea to pull Kata. This is Kata, the same Kata that gave him the biggest no of the season, the biggest curb of the season, and embarrassed him at the same time. So Bryce either has a shame kink or he really is that stupid and he really still thinks he has some vibe with Kata, which after everything we've seen, he should be embarrassed to think that. So Zach was telling Bryce that he thinks Trinity is coasting with Bryce, which a certain part of the audience has been thinking too. But in this episode, it was all about her talking about how she's falling for Bryce, both with people in the villa and in confessional. That was what she was saying. But Bryce and Trinity talked about how he said she is his number one, but then he casually tries to say that both she and Kata are his type, and he wants to see if there's something there with Kata. I'm glad that Trinity said that she's not fucking with it. And she should have said that because it does seem like her and Kata have become good friends. Bryce, in the same conversation, is saying he's worried that he's not normally her type. And in confessionals, she is saying that she doesn't like that he's already doubting. But all in all, I felt it to be a weird edit. I mean, they needed some kind of drama, but it seemed contrived and like overly produced in a way. But that's kind of like the editing's fault. So far, with Melanie and Sincere taking up so much time, this is now the third couple on this season where I don't really know how we got from point A to point D. We don't know where Casey's speech about dark-skinned black women came from to Aniya or why it happened. It was chopped into the edit. We don't know why Zach did a random 180 on Kata in the last episode out of nowhere. Now we don't know why Bryce thinks he needs to pull Kata of all people to test. The editing has to get better. They have 5 nights a week. It shouldn't be this bad. I get they want to put their most dramatic storyline to the forefront, but the rest of the show is now suffering. My other theory on what Bryce was doing in this episode, and it's all speculation because of the shitty editing, but this could have been like a test from Bryce. And again, he is too old for a test like this, but I feel like maybe he wanted to see if Trinity would get jealous, to test if she really likes him or is just settling with him for now. But either way, I can no longer trust Bryce, and it would take a lot for Bryce and Trinity to be my number one in my rankings again next week. Let's, I guess, move on to the main story that has me tired. Aniya continues to try and get Melanie to not crash out, though as this episode went along, we again see that she is giving Melanie some pretty bad advice at times. I don't know if Aniya is trying to sabotage Melanie and Sincere so that she can make my crack ship happen of her and Sincere, but I really don't think that is the case. I think Aniya is one of those friends that just likes to tell people what they want to hear, even if it's not always helpful. Sincere, meanwhile, was telling the guys about the kiss with Soul and how Soul gives him affection, but he has to chase Melanie. Honestly, that kind of already told me he will probably get bored of Soul soon, or at least sooner rather than later, with the way Sincere acts. Soul was talking to Jen about the kiss and how Melanie walked in right after they kissed. And then Sincere, in my opinion, started up how he's going to try and have his cake and eat it too. He had another conversation with Melanie where I do feel like she was trying not to crash out here. Melanie did ask him how much they kissed. He said twice in the speakeasy. He still has not talked about the first kiss with Soul. Melanie is sad because she's saying that the more he goes and tries to be with Soul, the more their connection is going to die. And she doesn't want him to hurt her feelings. And in confessionals, she's saying the trust is gone, but the connection is still there. And then Sincere decides he's going to lie. Sincere tells Melanie point blank he won't kiss that woman again. He's saying he doesn't actually want to explore with Soul now. I guess much like Aniya, he's just trying to tell Melanie what she wants to hear, maybe. Melanie, after hearing this, says she likes him so much, wants to try with him, wants to move forward. But then the next day, Sincere's talking to the guys about how he needs to test his connections with someone else. And so Sincere did pull Soul again. And of course, Melanie sees this. She tells Aniya she doesn't want to play this game anymore. I wish she was being honest about that because I don't really know if I want to see this game anymore. As for Soul, she's already laying up on him, on Sincere, and they're in soul ties. So, of course, Melanie doesn't like that either. She goes to complain to Kate and Zach because she has to make her problems everybody else's in the villa. But Soul and Sincere are already holding hands. It's honestly just kind of like a repeat of Melanie and Sincere to me. I feel like they have this physical connection, some things in common, but it's been one day and they're already holding hands. I'm not gonna be surprised when Sincere gets bored with Soul too. But Soul seems to like Sincere. They kiss again. In confessional, he's asking basically if he should explore the unexplored with Soul or what's comfy with Mel. Clearly at this point he's trying to do both. But I guess we can't go further in this episode until I talk about Kenzie and Corbin to try and connect the dots, which, by the way, in this episode, anyone that saw the little scenes of them in bed at night, Kenzie and Corbin were doing more than a little something something in bed. Go back and watch those scenes if you didn't catch it. But Kenzie, when she talked to Corbin about her chat with Caleb and the kiss with Caleb, she's talking about how she's not used to a roster and said she was thinking about Corbin when kissing Caleb. So if that's the case, that's not a great sign for Caleb, in my opinion. Corbin is glad that she's being honest with him, but it makes Corbin want to explore, or so he says in confessional. I think Corbin already wanted to explore more, but was trying to play the game and couple up with Kenzie for now. And I don't know any other way to say this, but Kenzie is the easiest girl in the villa. So I feel like that makes it easy for Corbin to be in that couple up too. But then Melanie pulls Corbin, and now she wants to explore because Sincere is doing his thing, and they're talking. She's talking about how she always is looking at him, and he's talking about how he doesn't want to get caught up in drama because he doesn't like drama. Then Melanie lies per usual and says she doesn't like drama either, even though she has been the drama this entire season. Their talks are not good though. Melanie wants kids so bad. I've talked about this multiple times this season already. These young folks on this season seem kid obsessed at their young age. Because Corbin in a conversation later was also talking about kids wanting a family already at 22. Corbin did his usual thing. He asked the only question he seems to be able to ask. He asked for a kiss. She wants to save the kiss because she wants to talk to Kenzie about it first. This was basically the same exact conversation Corbin had with Kata, where he tried to get a kiss from Kata. She said, you gotta wait for now. He's talking about how he wants it more. It's literally copy and paste with this guy. But Melanie talks to Aniya about it, about how Corbin asked for a kiss, but she wants to talk to Kenzie first. And typical Aniya is hyping Melanie up. But then Aniya and Melanie notice that Soul and Sincere are still talking, and Melanie's saying she wants Sincere after the show. She starts to do her spiraling again. She's about to go upstairs for another confrontation. Aniya tells Bea what's happening, and Bea's like, here we go again. Honestly, y'all cannot make me hate Bea. I feel like the things that she be saying speaks what a lot of us in the audience are thinking when it comes to certain antics. But Melanie wants to go upstairs. Luckily for her, Casey is the one that stops her, which I think was very good on Casey. I think Casey was being a good friend here. Somebody had to stop the crash out. I guess my theory on Aniya and the friendship with Melanie is that she just wants to let crazy be crazy? Like, why try and deal with the crazy when you could just tell the crazy what it wants to hear? Because Melanie is going to do whatever crazy idea she gets. We've seen that in multiple episodes now. So I kind of understand why Aniya placates Melanie. I still do wish that Aniya had more of a backbone in general, though. Caleb, meanwhile, is thinking it's going well with Kenzie. Told the guys it went well the other night. Brought her breakfast after she got fingered by Corbin the night before. Kenzie, again, reiterating to people that she was thinking about Corbin when kissing Caleb and talking about how Caleb is younger, even though he is her type. And so they had another talk. They talked about how Caleb is scared of being attached too early. He's talking about how he is a lover boy. He likes to buy girls flowers. I mean, he's an old school country boy right there. And Kenzie is kind of a different person with him. Definitely a lot calmer, like we've talked about before. But she doesn't seem very horny with Caleb. And I'm not convinced that she is attracted to him because everyone's always talking about friend vibes. While Kenzie has been so horny for every other guy she's talked to, we've had to hear about her nether regions way too often this season already. So I don't really know if the attraction is there for Kenzie with Caleb, but they do vibe, so I don't know. But when Kenzie learned that Corbin wanted to kiss Melanie, she's upset with Corbin, even though I thought she was being quite the hypocrite, being upset that Corbin wants to kiss Melanie after she just kissed Caleb. And so Melanie did finally have her talk with Kenzie because Melanie is saying her connection's basically done and Corbin is her type, so that's who she wanted to talk to. And Kenzie is saying she doesn't feel good about it. And Kenzie is saying it's fine, but she did call out Melanie here a little bit, saying that if she were to do this with Sincere, Melanie would be confused. And I'm glad Kenzie pointed this out because someone finally had to, because Aniya was never going to do it. So I do want to give props to Kenzie here for calling out Melanie's hypocrisy. But Kenzie says Melanie and her are good friends. And Melanie's saying she came to Kenzie first. I don't know if we will have continued drama here. I do think Kenzie is enjoying her physical connection to Corbin, though, as this was reiterated throughout the episode. Aniya and Casey had their typical 1-minute edit. They seem to be in a good place. Casey wanting to make sure she is okay. Aniya says she feels comfortable, tells Casey she likes everything about him. I mean, we have no reason to think these two aren't in a great place. But this is why I say that nobody can really have educated opinions on these two because they don't get screen time. They are not a fleshed out couple. Most of these couples aren't fleshed out at this point, even though this show has all the time in the world to do so. But for Aniya and Casey especially, it's all speculation at best. We have no reason at this point to think that they are both not happy at home with each other, because that's what's coming across when they do get an edit. I made my video defending Aniya yesterday, and I still see comments about how Aniya's so insecure, but like I don't buy it. Because even comparing Aniya's reaction to Melanie's and Kenzie's at the beginning, it's like night and day to me. Kenzie crashed out for multiple days, still throwing shade at Zach in challenges. Meanwhile, Melanie crashed out for 24 hours straight after Sincere had one conversation with Kata. Aniya got upset by a joke. They talked it out that same night. And was she totally over it? No. But she was mostly over it. She did get new information that Soul was Casey's type, and that's something Casey didn't tell her, or at least Soul looked like Casey's ex or whatever. But I don't know. I still think it's hard to have a real opinion on Aniya when her edit is the friend and her and Casey don't get enough screen time. Gabe told Bea he kissed both bombshells. Bea knows he does what he wants, but she is feeling like a dumbass like she should. She told Trinity and Kata about it. She says she competes for medals, not men. And Gabe's telling the guys that he likes Jen, but Bea's not going to cuddle his ass anymore. Bea had a conversation with Corbin, pulled him to see if he is more than a pretty face. This is when Corbin was talking about the kids that he wants. Some of y'all in the comments liked Bea and Caleb's conversation an episode ago. And I would like to see them circle back to that. Because I'm not convinced that Kenzie is attracted to this guy. Even though Kenzie and him have more in common. But Bea is going to need someone or her ass is going to be out of here. And if we lose Bea before the likes of Corbin or Jen or Gabe or even shitty nepotism casted gay shave leg Zach, it's not going to be great for the show, in my opinion. So those are my thoughts on the episode. Definitely not my favorite. I don't know what this twist tonight is. I don't know if it leads to an elimination. If it does, it could be Bea going, and then we're stuck with a little too many people that are not good television, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. I would like nobody to go home tonight, unless it's going to be Corbin. Yeah, that's how I feel. But I assume the next elimination would be a girl, so it's not looking great for Bea and Melanie if you all voted Gabe to be with Jen.